is the difference between stop and abort? The most asked interview question, please. The most asked interview question. What is the difference between stop and abort? Here it is aborted. Here it is stopped. What is the difference between stop and abort? Now the most important interview question, please. The most asked interview question. The most asked interview question, stop and abort. What is the difference between? What is the difference between stop and abort? Okay. See guys, you see, please observe carefully. Try to understand the concept because this is the most important interview question. Okay, where you will never find the correct answer. Where you will never find the correct answer. Okay, see please, suppose I have 5,000 records. Suppose I have 10 lakh records are there in my source. I have 10 lakh records are there. Okay, 10 lakh records are there. When you run the mapping, all 10 lakh records will load at a time. When you run the mapping, all 10 lakh records will load at a time, guys. How Informatica will load? Informatica will load what? Row by row. Informatica will do row by row. Row by row it will do. Informatica integration service will process the records row by row. Suppose 10 lakh records are there. Target is having zero records. Now, target is having 0 records. You started a session. When you start a session, it will be like what? See please. How many it will take? If you see any session, please. If you see here, in this, if you see please, how many rows it will read? First it will start reading. But how many rows it will read? Based on your network speed, based on your source database network speed, it is taking 105 rows per second. Okay, suppose if you run 1 lakh, maybe 3,000 records per second it will take. Maybe 3,000 records per second. 3,000 records per second it may take. 3,000 records per second. Okay, like that. First 3,000 it will read. Then writing. Suppose Oracle database is fast. Your target is Teradata database. Teradata database is more faster than Oracle. So reading, what it will do? Oracle source is Oracle database. Source DB is Oracle. Okay. Oracle, how much is reading? Sources means reading. 3,000 records per second. 3,000 records, rows per second. Now target DB, writing. It is writing to Teradata database. How many? 5,000 or okay, 3,000, and immediately it will suppose it has will take source as Teradata. For an example, source as Teradata. Okay, what is this? 1 second. Let me insert. Yeah. Source is Teradata, target is Oracle. Source is reading 5,000 records per second. 5,000 records per second. But target is writing 3,000 records. 3,000 records per second. Like this, it may happen. Okay. So based on the network speed, based on your source Oracle, your source database speed, based on your target database speed, it will be throughput. This is called throughput. Okay, throughput is this many rows per second, this many bytes per second. It will show. Okay. Now understand carefully, please. In this, source is having 10 lakh records. In these 10 lakh records, okay, it has read already 50,000 records. Okay, source has read 50,000 records already, and target is written 30,000 records, and 20K still it is loading. After 30K, still 10K loaded. Then you give a stop here. Suppose you stopped. After this, so source has 50,000 records, it has read already. Source has read 50,000 records, and target is written 30K records. Then you came here and you stop here. When you stop, what will happen? First, what will happen? First, source will stop reading. First, source will stop reading the records. Will stop reading the records. Source will stop reading the records. Source will stop reading the records. And how many L's are there to write? In the 50,000, in the 10 lakh records, 50,000 records read, already read. In the 30,000 records written. Now 20,000 records it should write still. It should write still 20,000. First, source will stop reading the records and workflow will be in stopping status until these 20K records right in the target. What it will do? When you give a stop in this stage, what integration service will do? What integration service will do? First, source will stop reading the records, and whatever the remaining records and workflow will be in stopping status until these 20K records write to the target. Suppose these 20K records is taking 10 minutes. 10 minutes, your workflow will be in stopping status. 10 minutes, your workflow will be in stopping status. Are you clear, please? Are you clear, everyone? Are you clear, guys? Everyone, please, understanding? Did you understand what is stop means? What is stop means? Did you understand, please? What is stop means? Did you understand? Everyone, guys? So, when you give a stop, first source will stop reading the records and it will wait until it will wait the remaining records to write, and it will write and it will wait. If it is 10 minutes, it will wait for 10 minutes. If it is taking 20 minutes, it will wait for 20 minutes. In the stopping status, stopping, it will be coming here, stopping. It will come here, stopping. It will come, okay, and it will wait for it. But what is abort? What if you do abort in the same stage? In the same stage, suppose source is having 10 lakh records. In that, source has read 5K records, 50K records already, but 30K records you given abort. But you given now abort. What it will do when you give abort? What it will do when you give abort? When you abort, same thing, please. First, source will stop reading the records and workflow will be in aborting status, and workflow will be in aborting status. Aborting status. Okay. Workflow will be aborting status for 1 minute only, for 60 seconds only, In these 60 seconds, how much ever the records it can write, how much ever the records it can write, it will write and it will fail. It will write and it will fail. It will write and it will abort. So in the 60 seconds, only normally what? In the 50,000 records, 30,000 records, in the 50,000 records, 30,000 records read. Okay, 20,000 records need to write. 20,000 records need to write. When you give abort, it will wait only for 60 minutes. In these 60 minutes, if you try 20,000 records, fine. If you try 10,000 only, it will write only 10,000, it will fail. Other 10,000, it will not work. It will not. So when you will use abort, if you want to, when you will use abort now, when you will use abort, if you want to kill your workflow quickly, when you will use abort, if you want to kill your workflow, if you want to kill your workflow, if you want to kill your job or workflow fastly, without waiting, but still it will wait 60 seconds, then it will abort, then use abort. But here the data will lose. If you're okay, the data will lose, then you can use abort. abort. Are you clear, please? Everyone, are you clear? Stop means if this 20 records, how many times? 20 minutes, 30 minutes, 40 minutes or so, it will wait. Workflow will be stopping status and it will write in the target, give the commit, then stop. But here it will write, it will take only 60 seconds. In these 60 seconds, how much ever it can write, and it will write, and it will fail, and it will abort. Are you clear, please? So if you want to do workflow, if you want to stop your workflow, if you want to kill your workflow faster, then use abort. If you want to kill your workflow slowly, then you go for stop. Then you go for stop. Are you clear, please? Everyone, are you clear? Understanding? What is the difference between stop and abort? We are stopping 30,000. Yeah, it is in stopping status. In that stopping status, it will write 20,000 records. In this stopping will be there, right? It will be there stopping in the 20,000 records. Here, aborting will be only 60 seconds. Aborting only 60 seconds. Stopping can be half an hour also. Stopping can be half an hour also. Okay. Are you clear, please? In stopping, you will not lose the data. You will not lose the data. Sometimes, why you want to kill the workflow? You done some mistake. You done some mistake. You realize you suppose there is a workflow. You accidentally run a workflow. Suppose you want to run this workflow, but you ran this workflow accidentally. Then you need to kill the workflow, right? Then you will need to kill the workflow. Yes, please. Yeah, that's why. That's it. You cannot get rid of the workflow. You cannot get rid of the records. You cannot. That's why we will do S3 type 1, right? If you do by mistake only, also it will all update only. That's why we will do always S3 type 1. Why? If you run the workflow again by mistake also, it will update the records again. That's it. Nothing will happen. Are you clear, guys? Everyone, are you clear? Understanding? Understanding, please. Understanding? There is an option I told you. If you want to stop, you stop. Otherwise, leave it, please. There is an option I told you. Stop and abort. This is the most important question. That's why I told. That's why I told. Okay. Yes, please. Clear about stop and abort? Now, the most important thing. One more. What is stop on errors? The most important question. The interview question is what? First interview question is, this is the most important interview question because you will never find, you try to Google search and you try to understand. Try to Google search and try to understand between stop and abort. You cannot. You cannot Google search. You cannot get the correct statement. You cannot get the correct statement. That's why I explained. Now, next is